Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tune Project. Today we're talking all about Irish ornaments, and I'll be sharing with you 3 of the more common ornaments that you'll typically come across in Irish music. Hi, I'm Lauren, a professional violinist and fiddle player currently living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I help thousands of people achieve their violin and fiddle goals. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. We'd love to have you here. Now, let's talk about 3 of the most common ornaments you'll typically come across in traditional Irish music. The first one is the roll or turn. Now, I usually hear this one referred to in folk music as the roll and in more classical music as the turn, but either term works. They're really interchangeable. But what this means is we have our melody note, and then we go to the note above the melody note, we come back to the melody note, go to the note below the melody note, and then land on the melody note to end. So it's really a sequence of notes that are all moving in stepwise motion, and the pitches can either be a half or a whole step above and below the melody note. It sort of depends on the key and the style that you're going for. But as an example, if I'm starting on an F sharp on the E string, this is what a roll or a turn would sound like. And I'll go ahead and play that slowed down for you. And typically the roll or turn is used on notes that are a little longer just because we need a little bit more time for all of those extra notes, but it really just highlights the melody note. Now, the second most common ornament used in traditional Irish music is the slide. And this is one that you'll see overlapping in other fiddle styles. You may be familiar with it if you are coming from more of a country, bluegrass, or old time background. The slide is used quite a bit in those traditions as well, but it's also used in Irish music. And when we talk about the slide, we're talking about literally just sliding into the melody note. So let's say I have a B as my melody note on the A string, first finger on the A string. If I were to slide into that B, I would be coming from a B flat. So typically the slide starts a half step before the note, but it can be up to a whole step as well. It just sort of depends on what you're going for. So here's an example of the slide in a tune. So slowed down, that sounds like this. So again, we're just going from a half step beneath the melody note, which in this case is an F sharp, so I'm coming from an F natural, and just sliding my first finger into that F sharp. And the third and final Irish ornament that we're going to be talking about today is called the flick or tap. I've heard it referred to both ways, and again, these terms are interchangeable, but essentially it means the same thing, which is that we are, again, taking our melody note and we're simply either going a half, whole, or sometimes 2 notes above the melody note, and we're simply just flicking or tapping the string with our finger, and that just sort of highlights or emphasizes the melody note. So as an example, I'll come back to this B on the A string, and I'm just going to include a little flick. And in slow motion, that sounds like this. So it's very, very quick. I'm not even really fully landing my finger down onto the fingerboard. It's just barely touching the string and then quickly coming off. And I tell my students, you can think of it as if the string is very hot and you don't want your finger to stay there for very long. So we're quickly just playing the note and then coming back to our melody note as fast as possible. So in this case, I went from B, the melody note, to a C natural, was my flick or tap note. But again, as I said, you could also do a whole step above the melody note or 2 steps above. So you could do it as a C sharp, which would sound like this, or even a D. So it really depends on the effect that you're going for, but that is a common fiddle ornament that we fiddle players use to imitate the bagpipe. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about some of the more common traditional Irish ornaments with me today. Hopefully you'll be able to try some of these out within your own fiddle playing. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Happy practicing.